I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm working off stream on the custom hero creator at the moment. Because we've switched to sort of tall sprites, that's necessary to do, but I'm also planning on doing a few little changes to it for the better. Give it a bit of an overhaul, which I'll be showing off when the time's right, and eventually all these screenshots here are going to just get an update as well, because these are old now, simply because we've got small sprites on them, so there'll be a few changes to those. And so in December I might be able to show you a new custom hero creator, a brand new spanking one, and maybe the Steam page as well, depending on if everything falls into place well and it's ready to launch in December. I'd absolutely love it to be a sort of December Christmas celebration, to have our Steam coming soon page all ready so you guys can wish list and all the fun things. Okay, so that can go. We'll cross the Twitter off for a bit, you don't need it, but we'll need our Law Bible today because we're carrying on with dialogue. Now, last stream we finally finished the third scene with Carol. We put a conclusion to it. I think it's not too bad as it is. I'm looking forward to doing this scene. I'm going to read it through. Now, and we're going to carry on. We're going to do the rest. So, hang on, let me get my Trello page up because that'll tell me what scenes actually need working on. Although, I think all of Main Quest 1 scenes are mostly done now. It's logged me out of Trello for some reason. There we go. Here we are. Okay, yeah, we were just getting in the Carol flashback scene, weren't we? Which is here. We were getting that scene where we meet the container characters for the first time. We're in the middle of doing that. Oh yeah, we need to add the choices here as well for scene 1, because right now on our outline we've got the pushing Fiona in the leg is the first choice we make in the game, which is not the case anymore because we've got more choices since we expanded the scene. Okay, so how are we going to organise this? As always, I put in my random letters. Okay, so we don't lose or gain anything from that. We haven't marked it as anything, have we? Because everything else, every other choice made in the game offers at least some minus or plus points in something. So if anyone has any cool ideas for what that could give, I mean, it doesn't have to give anything. It's not like there's a law or a rule that we have to have it give something if you say nothing. But But if appropriate, then we could do. 'Cause it's fun to always either gain or lose affinity, or like have our morals be affected. Wise could totally be believable for that one. When I've done it in the past, I have put neutral down for affinity, haven't I? For example, here. I think we could always do that sort of thing for that option. Rather than have it be blank, I kind of see neutral as the blank. If you gain nothing, then just have neutral affinity there, the 0 affinity points. I feel to some degree with every sort of choice you make, every interaction, there'll be at least one NPC that's either negatively, positively, or neutrally affected by what you do. So if it's neither positive nor negative, then it's probably neutral. And as I've said before, when it comes to these points, these could very easily be changed. Like when we get to this test play stage with our builds, if like anyone in the community is having a play, and they feel like actually that should probably be changed, then it's easy enough. It's easy fix. I don't think we're going to have a visual indicator of what your morals are in this game. There won't be. I don't think there'll be anything in the menu that straight out says this is the moral scale. I'm more of a fan of like inserting visual cues in a more subtle and interesting way to reveal what your hero's morality is, rather than just straight out say in a menu. Undertale are an example that do things a bit like that, and I think it's pretty cool and neat. Hi Mid-Sega, how you doing? Hope everyone's having a nice day and night. I'm doing good. Are you, Mid-Sega? How has your week been? Good to see you. So I would actually say if this was going to be anything on the moral scale, like sort of grassing Carol up, ratting her out, if you want to call it that. It's not necessarily good or evil at this stage, because you don't really know that it's bad, that the barrels are hiding, and that there's this fear. You don't know anything about that yet. So maybe it would be the foolish and wise one. So I'm going to put it as that for now. That is definitely loss of compassion though, no question. I mean, for now we don't even have to give it anything, but I kind of wanna. Okay. Yeah, we'll put it in for now. If we ever change your heart, it's easy enough to change, so But it's good to get in the habit of like every choice you make sort of somewhat affects something to a certain degree. So let's put this in as sort of template. So we'll say -1. How did we do it with the one down here? -1 Ys, that was it. Shouldn't it be wisdom rather than wise? And this was... what was the face name? Foolish face? That was it. That was the face. No, that's wise, not the opposite wise. We should be gaining the wise point for that one. I don't know these emoji names. I'm good, just chilling out with my day off. Oh yay, day off. Hi Pooh. Hi Storm, how you doing? It's so good to see you. How are things on your end? My devoted chosen ones. I'm a chosen one. Can't remember for the life of me what the name of this wisdom emoji I used was, but I'll find it. I could just put it in the search box if I knew and I'd find it faster. No, that hasn't come up. There, that's the one. Monocle. I did put monocle in and it didn't come up. So, the way it is here is that, yeah, you'll probably lose the wisdom point for being a bit reckless there and kind of ratting Carol out. I mean, it depends what perspective you have. It's a toughie because some people could see it as you're doing the villagers a like fall a favour, but it's not really because the barrels aren't a threat, so... Hi Waking Forest, I dig the music. Thank you very much. Appreciate the compliment on my choice and taste. Oh damn, you updated the sprites to be 2 times tall. I did the way Lobo looks like damn. Yes, Storm Eagle, it was a recent change that I decided to make because being at the project stage we're at the moment, we're pretty very early on, so there's gonna be plenty of changes in the assets department perhaps over time. I'm kind of keen on making our game look distinct from other RPG Maker games over time, and that's one thing that I think is a good idea. I think it fits with our themes a little better, considering our game is although it's very charming and silly, it's also got dark themes too, and it's not really a kids game, so I definitely think the tall grown-up sprites are fitting. And we've had good things said about them. Yeah, everybody's a tall sprite now. I spent a good week having a mess around with all the community characters and finding some clothing assets that I tried to stay as loyal as possible to the original designs. The tallest sprites are way better, as every time I make a new project, what I always do is make them 2 times tall, as it looks more aesthetic and give the game less charge sphere. Yeah, exactly my thoughts as well, Storm. And I'm very pleased I made the decision, because it's so easy, isn't it, to think, oh, this is a cute the way it's before, like, this is a cute game, this is a nice game for kids, and then it's like, actually no, it's not for kids. I've had people, like the odd one or two, come in chat and be like, oh, this is a cute kids game. I've been like, no, not for kids. Probably not a good idea with some of the themes that are going to be in this game. I mean, technically, you could also gain brave points for being honest as well. It would kind of cancel out the loss of wisdom, maybe. But I think being like very, what do you call it? I forgot the term, but when you avoid things, when you're like nothing or no, that could be seen as cowardly as well. But it also is sometimes wise, depending on the situation. So are you setting up a visual presentation of what affects your reputation, karma, I guess? Now, yeah, basically, Storm, I have, I've been getting organised, and I've got every scene so far with dialogue branches all written up, and that includes as well marking what's going to change with the moral system and affinity with NPCs with the dialogue choices. So it's like all super organised now. So this is for main quest 1, and I'm also in the process of doing the one for main quest 2 as well, because our first build that's going to be out early next year, early-ish next year should I say, it's gonna contain main quest 1 and 2 out the planned 6 main quests for the first game in the series. And I also have like a more a less detailed version of the scene outline here. So I'm also marking out all the choice on it because it's so much easier for me. It works well with the way my brain works to get everything written up clearly so that I don't lose track, and then that way it's less hard work when it comes to implementing it until the end. I can't get my words out today. And if any changes need to be made, then it's a simple edit on here. Everybody's different. Some people aren't as organised as this, and that's fine as well. It's all whatever fits best with you, with your approach. So what we're going to call it this. So we're in the middle of adding it to the. I've got so many tabs open. There we go. So we're going to say rat Carol out. I was tempted to have the minus wisdom but a plus brave for this, so I might still do that. Rat out Carol, is that the... I mean, I know that that's a term for grassing up. Just trying to think if that's the best one we should use. Rat out. Carol. What's the opposite of rat out? Don't rat out is probably the opposite. So I have like buzzers when I type this in like random letters because the text formatting goes weird otherwise on Draw.io if I delete all the text. that. It isn't a devil one. Let's get rid of that. It's the wisdom one that we're going with right now. Yeah, which I can't do. It's not very nice when it comes to copying and pasting emojis, so I'm gonna do it this way. Even though I put monocle in, it doesn't come up in the search for some reason. Why has it gone back to how it was? What on earth? It was, I filled that in. You guys saw. It's gone back to how it was. Oh, so you are setting up. Yeah, I've already read that. But I like your website. Thank you, Aiken. I appreciate the kind words. Yeah, feel free to have a look at the website, guys. It recently did have it's had a bit of content update recently. I kind of do that regularly with the website because we recently added a law Bible. I recently signed up to World Anvil, which I use as my law Bible. So anything character or story or law related goes into the law Bible section of the website, which is like a separate tool that I use rather than it being on the main website. So I'm going to kind of keep the website for mainly like promo stuff, I guess, like showing things off, things like trailers or Steam wish listing links and features and all that kind of thing, and like special like things that are worthy of showing off. And my lazy butt wouldn't be able to set something like this in a year, and if I did have the motivation for it, so cheers on this and it looks well thought out and all that. Thanks, Storm. Yeah, I'm a bit of a you know, the personality types, the Myers-Briggs, I don't know if you've heard of them, but I'm an INFJ. I think that's what I am, INFJ. And the J in the INFJ means like the more planner type. So I'm definitely more the planner type than the Panzer. I think Panzer's the opposite, when you kind of don't plan. No, there's no right or wrong. It's fine to be a non-planner, a Panzer. But it all depends on what method suits you, really. And go away, bot. The bots love me. They love me so much. So we got to type this in again now, because for some reason it decided to completely delete the text. But yes, like I kind of see it as it can be very like time consuming to set up like full on organised documents and sheets like this, but then it makes the actual implementation part like a breeze when you've done it this way. I usually find that if I don't do it this way, then the implementation part can be a bit more time consuming and messy, so it all depends on the process, but it works out the same in the end, I guess. The time you put into this will just be more time in the implementation part if you don't do it. And that emoji was yeah, okay, so oh yes, we have had it before where we have 2 pluses, so it's fine to do that. I think it could be appropriate. So maybe we should also give So that means if you look at the moral scale, you'll kind of get the keys. But yeah, so you do gain the wisdom, but you also kind of lose one on the bravery scale. But it's the other way around. If you reiterate, you gain on the bravery scale, but you lose on the wisdom scale. So it kind of keeps the balance that way. And you're kind of starting to shape your hero in a certain way. Either you go for the wise, cowardly hero or the foolish, brave hero here. But of course, that's just the first choice. This is just the beginning. Okay, so. And I don't think that this should affect the compassion scale at this stage, because you're not really aware if the barrels are a positive or negatively influence to the world at this point in time, because you've just literally met Carol and she's kind of had a right go at you. So I wouldn't blame anyone that does want to rat her out after that. But yes, there's definitely consequences to doing such a thing. And next choice, because we've got another choice in this scene. This scene was recently expanded for those of you that are just coming in or haven't been here in a while. It was such a very brief scene in the early days. It was literally just a dialogue box long, and all it was Carol having a go at you. There was none of these choices this early on, but recently expanded it because we want the player to get hooked into the game immediately. And a choice like this shows how high the stakes are in Raindrop Chronicles, and kind of is an introduction to how harsh the choices can potentially get. And although Carol isn't getting killed off, it kind of is still a little bit like, whoa, you can actually do that. So yeah, if you do encourage Carol to get smashed, then that would be pretty bad on your compassion, and it would kind of set you and Carol's relationship up to be pretty Carol wasn't going to like very much. Okay, so, but yes, I thought I'd spend some time getting in the new choices on our outline, because it's a good idea for me to be able to keep track as easily as possible this way with every single choice we've got so far. Because I found before I did this, I just forgot. I completely forgot that there was a point in the game where you can actually kill or spare the fruits at one point. I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, there's that. And it's, as it builds up, it's so easy to kind of just forget little bits. So this way it's just one glance and you can easily just keep track and easily remember what you've done. So yes, main quest 1 and main quest 2 are literally getting very fleshed out at this point in time, because they're our priority, because they're what needs to be complete and done for the first build. I think the first 2 quests, I see it as Act 1 of the first episode, is a nice starting point for a test demo. And of course we've got main quest 3, main quest 4, 5 and 6 coming up that haven't been written yet, but we kind of have got some ideas on what might happen in those scenes. So it'll be fun to talk about those and get an outline developed together and planned what's going to come ahead, although we won't be writing the dialogue for it until we've done and dusted main quest 1 and 2. Okay, so, and let's get those others in. So this is dark, this is black, this box, because it's a choice that has like a very heavy consequence, potentially. If it's not a black box, if it's a grey one, that means it's just going to affect things just a touch, but not significantly. And that's just so I can easily keep track of the choices that are more key, because there's lots of smaller lit choices in between that only affect affinity and moral points, but not so much the plot. Oops, don't want to do that. We could do with getting an arrow here as well. And don't like that. We'll do it this way. I think it was Alt F to hold down. There. And the other choice, you only get this if you do the ratting out. Oh, we're not going to get space, so we'll move that across. So this one is the -5 compassion, isn't it? And I just write a little really brief few word summary of what the choice is, because then it's just going to be easier when I look at this to remember what happens without needing to read all the dialogue. Because imagine if I'm away or have a break for a few weeks and then I look back at this and I'm like, I forgot what's happened. So it's good to like get something like this to get it, so it can come into my head quickly. You know, I like this point system, and I'm curious, don't know if you talked about it already as I haven't been here a while, but for example, based on your reputation and stuff, will some shops quests be available and unavailable? Yes, Storm, that's exactly the plan here. So the moral system is really a really key USP with Raindrop Chronicles. It's kind of one of the main features I see it like, because your hero, you have the option to shape them based on these 3 scales, and I think there's a potential of 9 different hero combinations if you count neutral as one of them, and of what your hero can be. So every player could potentially have one of 9 different hero types, but the whole point in it is, because it's not going to just be there for just the sake of it, we got to have a purpose. And I think it's perfect for something like that. So when you talk to different NPCs, based on what you like, what sort of hero you are, they might give you a quest. Like certain quests won't even be available if you're a certain hero. Like imagine if there's an NPC that's got a really, really seedy, dodgy, criminal-like quest and mission that he wants to achieve, an agenda, like Lobos, for example. Like only an evil, brave hero could probably do that, or a good, brave hero. It all depends on perspective, but I'd definitely say brave. You'd have to be sort of considered brave for NPCs to want you to do that kind of quest, because they're not going to even think you're capable otherwise. And I'd love it to not only just affect quests, but also how the NPCs talk to you in general. The more like braver NPCs out there will have equal respect for you and see you on their level if you're also that kind of hero. Whereas if you're the opposite, they'll probably talk to you like dirt. And it could affect romance options as well. Like, there'll be romanceable choices in the game, and certain characters will not be attracted to you if you're a certain hero type, because they're going to have their personal preferences. Like, romantically, will have different sexual orientations, and will also be based on personality as well. Like, some heroes wouldn't even dream of being with an evil hero, for example. And again, thank you so much for that follow. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. And hi Binary, how are things for you? Yeah, I was checking Lobos's Law Bible, and I was thinking about that. Lobos is not a bad dude at heart, but the way he does things are not that acceptable. So what quests will be like, and what requirements he will need to be met. Yeah, I think, like, because looking at our list of antagonists, because we had like you, Rex, Chub Cheeks, and Elite characters. I think you four were kind of the antagonists that we've had submitted so far. And I ended up seeing it as, well, it's all about perspective, isn't it? Like, there's no like full-on bad guy, really, because if you're an evil hero, then you might end up friends with some of those antagonists. And not all the antagonists are even evil. Some are good, just with different sort of beliefs to you that would clash with perhaps what the NPCs you do quests for believe. But they can definitely still, it all depends, because I think the NPCs we like, including the community characters and any that we make extra, it should all be somewhere on this moral scale too. They'll all have their own moral system, so at some point we're going to probably roughly decide where each character falls on their own moral system, because then we'll kind of have an idea how they'll talk to each of the different hero types. I'll have to study my waifus to know what to go for. Yeah, so that's going to be fun times, because and LOL, Asharu can be antagonising too in a party. Yeah, so it's all very, there's a lot of shades of grey. There's not really an evil and good in this series. Not like, I mean, I say that, but we're still going to have those NPCs that are probably chaotic evil and there's no redemption. Someone like Father Maple is like an example of that, and I'm sure there'll be others too, because you have to have those NPCs to kind of just make the story interesting as well, to a certain degree. If every character's grey, then it kind of takes something away from those characters that are grey. So you gotta have the evil as well as pure good. But it's interesting. I like the system we've got here, for sure. And it's kind of it's very replayable. That's the goal, to make this game replayable, and for you to all be curious how other people play the game. Because that'd be the one thing about story games, is that the ones that don't have choice and replayability, the ones that are just completely linear and the same experience for everyone that plays them, sometimes, like, it's not as exciting to play yourself, because you can just watch a YouTube Let's Play for games like that. There's plenty of story games I've just watched Let's Plays of and thought, yeah, I'll just watch that. I won't actually buy the game, I'll just watch the Let's Play. But with a game like this, you just want to play it yourself because there's so many different variables, and you kind of want to see how you want to do your own version of the game and your way of doing the story. To be honest, I like that grey exists in the game, as the player has to decide which to pick from that character. Will they expose the white or black out of their grey, so it gives more moral choices and stuff? Yeah, I'm a big fan of all that, and I like as well that we're not restricted, or sort of we're not restricted forever to the moral scale. Like, for example, if you do start off as an evil hero, you can still redeem yourself and go up the scale towards good as you play through the game over time. You know, like, you're not forced to be that evil hero forever. You can completely change and have like your own personal character arc as the hero, I guess, by going from evil to good, or brave to cowardly, or whatever. And I think it was Rex's character's an antagonist to us, but he fights for the lizard people who oppress. Yeah, so Rex's character's an interesting one because he's currently a character that's going to be very close to where we are in the story, because we're in Everbloom Forest right now, where we currently have the reptiles and humans living there and experiencing that divide. So he's an early character that we meet, and he depending on you as a human being playing the game, you could see him as a real enemy if you align yourself with the humans in your heart. But you could also easily be a player that has reptile sympathy within you and sympathises with the reptiles' cause, so that means that you'd actually be an ally of the Rex character if that is the sort of hero you are. And it's not as straightforward as good and bad at all, because I actually think it's quite noble and honourable to be a reptile sympathiser, you know, and there's no evil or good race. Like, the humans are not the good ones and the reptiles aren't the bad. It's like each of both races have a mix of good and bad within them. They've got people who have good beliefs in the humans and people who are bad, and the same for the reptiles. They'll be the good ones who are very noble opinions, and some that might be a bit have lost themselves along the way. And I think it's more interesting that way and more realistic too. And Libos fights the weak as he was abused, and to him strength equals power, so he tries to make peace with fists instead of words. Yeah, for sure, it's very grey, and I like antagonists that aren't necessarily full-on evil. And if they are evil, I mean, I'm a big fan of chaotic evil villains as well, but I think they need to have a reason for why they ended up that way as well, and not just be evil for the sake of being evil. It's always very fascinating when you find yourself relating to a really evil character, because then you're like, oh my god, I actually like this character and understand them, or you know, or see where they're coming from, but yet they're really doing bad things. It just makes the villain more interesting then. And so I like how many options they are already for the player. Yeah, and you got to be careful, because it can always end up like just branching out so hard that you can't keep up with it, which is why in the character creator, you'll only get to be a human. You can't be a lizard, or you can't be any other race, so that stops things branching out too complicated, because the story would kind of be a bit of a plot hole if you weren't a human, because the whole point in the story is that you're a human who meets Carol the Barrel, and she calls you a flashback, she hates you, and it's the primary part of that story. The primary plot is your relationship with Carol the Barrel, and how you as a human how that adventure is gonna go with that barrel, and whether she's gonna warm to you or whether she's gonna despise you and see the good in humans one day. And you know, so that's kind of really the plot, I guess. Human redemption or human damnation with barrels, and if you're gonna romance Carol or not, or just be a friend. So that helps things somewhat, having just a human only hero, because my goodness, if you could have a lizard hero, that would be a plot hole as well, because you start off in Glightfall and the humans hate the lizards, so that would be weird. So it kind of just keeps things simple to a certain degree there, but the branches that are possible from that are still massively varied and pretty a lot to do. So it's just finding that balance between what you are going to make very choicy and possible, to keeping things simple when you need to, so things don't go overboard, because as a solo developer you've only got so much you can keep up with, right? And hi Zava, how are you doing? It's good to see you. Mostly lurking today, but glad to see the moral system coming along. Yeah, it's fun. I want to know what sort of hero you guys would be, looking at the moral system, where you'd fall. And it's everybody's different. Like, you can get -10 evil villain, or you can just get someone who's just going slightly evil. And it's kind of interesting as well, that the spectrum of where you fall on the scale. Too, it's fun. I'm thinking of incorporating some little visual cues, like when it comes to where you fall on the moral system, rather than having a straight. I kind of am not as a fan, this is personal preference, of seeing things like this in the menu actually in game. I kind of prefer the design way of like having it visually represented where you fall, like in a subtle way, that it's not so spelled out for you what sort of hero you are. So for example, maybe in facial expressions, a bit like how the Fable game does it. Was it the first Fable? You literally, your hero's face starts to look evil and gets more and more evil as you become more evil, and the opposite and good, like your face is very pure and gets purer if you're good. And same for I like the idea of having facial expressions, because the way I'm approaching the hero creator now, because I am doing an overhaul of it, folks, since switching to tall sprites, because I have to redo all the hero sprites again. I'm approaching it in a way that it's going to be a lot easier for me to be more ambitious with the hero assets. I'm trying a few things out and I'm very, very happy with how it's going, but it's still a bit early to show at the moment. But it's going to make things a few more things possible, customise where in the customising aspects with the hero as it was before. And let's catch up with chat. He's just a villain who is a villain because he wants to corrupt the world, nothing more, nothing less. Yeah, and eventually everybody's community character will get expanded on over time. The ones that are currently in the story will be the first ones that get expanded on naturally. But it's nice that we've got the others there that we can still talk about, because then as time goes on, we'll really know and understand that character. And hi Vagabond, how you doing? Thanks for the raid. It's good to see you. And let's catch up with chat. How was the stream, folks? Well, if you did have a list hero, you could have had that hero start in the cave rather than level. Yeah, Van. See, that sort of thing is absolutely fascinating too, but it's just completely out of my depth. Well, not out of my depth. I think I could easily do something like that, but it would just increase the game development time by another couple of years potentially. So, and let's catch up with chat. So, what up? Hi, Broke, and thank you for the follow. How you doing? Stream was cool, playing some Sludge Life before chatting with the devs on Thursday. Ooh, what Sludge Life? Let's give Vagabond a shout out. Sludge Life, it sounds like a cute game. Is it about cute sludges? Like little sludge? I don't even know, I'm just assuming. And tell us about how it went. I always try and imagine cute characters, that's why in anything. Thank you, Louie, for the follow, I appreciate that. And meeting Woody rather than Carol for some reason. Oh yes. it's very interesting when we will finally meet the container characters, that's for sure. I mean, it is the overarching plot of the game where we're trying to find them, so it probably won't be till mid-game, potentially, until we actually do meet them in the present day. But it's going to be, we're still going to heavily have them involved and make them part of a series of flashbacks, and having the Lucky Charm mechanic in the game now will kind of be able to trigger those flashbacks more naturally. Which, in case you don't know what I'm on about, I have that written up here in a Google Doc. So if anyone wants to read, just go to the general ideas discussion in Discord. And let's catch up with chat. And my hero type would depend on if I decided to base it on myself or if I was playing a completely new character. Yeah, that's the interesting thing. I'm always myself in RPGs because I'm too scared of being evil. But I want to start being evil in games. I'm thinking of being evil when I play Cyberpunk 2077. But I don't know if I'd have the guts. It's about doing graffiti in a corporate world that's filled with sludge. Oh, that sounds interesting. Filled with sludge. And cute sludge girl waifus, that sounds interesting. And when I clicked on the game, I saw, are you 18 plus? And I am, oh, is this about slime girls? See, we all thought it. We all had it in our heads. Well, you guys had it in your heads, it was waifus, and I had it in my head that it was cute slimes. Like, you know that game Slime Rancher? I was thinking something to that degree. Because that's got cute little slimes in it. And what game engine do you use? Thanks, Storm. Yes, RPG Maker is the one, for sure. But I'll tell you now, folks, RPG Maker, I mean, it's very nostalgic for me because I've been using it since I was like 12. Very casual. I wasn't no pro when I was a kid, but it can be very limited. Like, I've spent the last 48 hours trying to achieve something that no other game's really done with the custom hero creator, and I'm kind of nearly there. I'm not going to talk about it yet because I've still got to do a lot of testing and experimenting, but we might just have a really cool custom hero creator on our hands. More than, I mean, it was already cool as anyway, but it was just very hard to manage because there was like hundreds of static hero assets the way it was before. But the way I've got it now, it might be a little bit more dynamic than that, and way easy to manage for me and potentially update. Because in Man Quest 3 we're gonna dress up as reptiles in one of the branches, and that would have been a right time-consuming endeavour to put separate reptile outfits on every single hero combination. But the way I'm setting it up now, it's going to not be that hard at all. So I'm pretty happy. But oh my goodness, there was a lot of time and effort I had to do to get that such a thing potentially pulled off. It's not really possible with default RPG Maker. There's not really even a plugin available for it, for such a feat. So I had to find a plugin, but it was very buggy and in alpha, and I had to contact the creator and ask them about their permissions, and they basically said I've got my work cut out for me because there's a lot to fix with our plugin. So I was like, well, I'm going to try anyway. Took me 48 hours and I'm kind of there now. You mean other people don't think about waifus and husbandos whenever a new game was mentioned? Sometimes I do, and I mean sometimes, but not always. Look at all those raindrops, my goodness. It's Vagabond and Zaver are close, and so is Sorter. I've noticed, I've been peeking through the bot to see who's close to the character. Look at all those raindrops, Van. My goodness me. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, we were rambling on about our moral system, because really, I'd say that's kind of something cool about our game, as well as the fact that we're going to potentially have romances to choose from, a plenty. And in regards to the romance, there's going to be maybe only about 10 or so that are actually deep, very deep romances in the story. And there'll be probably quite a fair few more that are flings and one night stands and just flirty banter, just to kind of flesh it out a bit more. But yeah, we can't have every single character be a deep romance, because it would be too much story work, and we'd be here till 100. We'll be here till 100. But so we I guess it's going to come to picking and choosing which of the characters are going to be able to offer the deepest romance stories, and then picking the secondary characters for the romance side of things that are going to be like flings and casual flirty band potentially. I want to be a Maelstrom, and my grand company in Final Fantasy XIV. My grand company in Final Fantasy XIV is the Immortal Flames. They're the best. How many raindrops is a Maelstrom? Yeah, how many is it? How many? Where am I? Oh, Van was, yeah. So if Van is that many, it looks like it's just over 5k raindrops to be a Maelstrom. I'm not my brain is a bit melty, so I can't give you the exact numbers. Look at me, I'm max rank. I was like, is there anything that can be more OP than a Leviathan? I was like, I don't know about that, because I would add another rank above Leviathan, but I think, how can anything be more OP than a living, breathing water monster? You know? I swear someone in chat said something a few weeks ago or a few months ago, but it slipped my mind what it was. Oh, that's true. If anyone's got any suggestions, feel free to mention badass water themed things in chat, and I might add some more ranks just to get it more, because I've finally hit the max rank, and I even want to level up more. I want to level up more. I don't want to stop there. So let's get some more ranks in the stream. The Immortal Flames are okay, but Maelstrom is top tier. I'm sorry, it's just facts. I like Immortal Flames because Ralbarn was the leader, and I just really like that character. I think real badass. How can you not say that Ralbarn's badass after seeing the ending of A Realm Reborn? What he does to that little Lalafell is the best. Did you play Shadowbringers, Dave? I've just remembered you were in the middle of playing it recently, weren't you? Could use Susano if you want to keep it Final Fantasy and use Japanese themes. Maybe. I still think Leviathan's the best, but if anything's going to be more OP than Leviathan, it'd be probably a god to some degree, a water-themed god. And the Mist is such an easy residential area to get around in Final Fantasy. Neptune, it's the name of the Roman god of the sea, and is the name of a giant blue planet. Can fit either way. Ooh, cool. We got a few ideas in chat then. Thanks for suggestions. I might update it before next stream. The Ratika Greatwood at the moment. Ooh, see, that is to me when it actually starts getting interesting. Not that Shadowbringers wasn't interesting before that part of the expansion. I still thought it really started off strong. But that is when I actually start getting like, oh my god. I can't say anything because it'll spoil it for David, but there's just one character in that expansion that is my favourite RPG character of all time now. It's that the character's just that good. So it's them that make this expansion special. I'm not gonna say anymore. I'm not gonna spoil. It could be anyone. It could literally be a cloud in the sky that's my favourite character. Not saying anything. And I'm close to working on inking more of the piece. Yay, Van, I'm so excited. Please send me more, because I'm holding off on the Steam page release until it's done. No pressure at all. Don't feel like there's any pressure. But I mean, it's not, the Steam page isn't ready to release quite yet anyway, because I need to get the screenshots updated with the tall sprites. And that's going to take time because I'm in the middle of doing the custom hero thing at the moment, and I can't really get the different versions of the hero in until I've done that. So it's not all because of you. It's not on your shelves, don't worry. There's plenty on my end to do as well. So absolutely no pressure at all. Oh my god, no pressure at all. Honestly, it's going to be a while till I'm ready anyway. The screenshots are even at a state where I'm happy to launch. So I was even thinking of just doing a slight redoing the trailer just a touch as well with the new sprites on, because I've already got the Premiere Pro thing still there, so I just have to take out some clips of some new ones, because it's important. We want it to look good on the Steam page. I'm sketching out the background and putting a test wash of colour. Yeah, but take your time. Like, the last thing I'd want is you to feel like it's a rush or pressure. Just take your sweet time until it's at a point where you're happy with it. Okay. And I can send you a clip so you can see it, kind of a mess right now, but if you want to see, I can send you a screenshot. Sure, just pop it, just drop me a message. I know that you're on my friendo list, so feel free to. But Van's doing something awesome for us, just so you know, chat. I'm not going to reveal any of the juicy stuff just yet because it's a little bit earlier, but there's going to be something cool to show you related to our game because of Van. And definitely be prepared because I'll be showing it off, that's for sure. Okay, so what was this choice again? It wasn't Rat Out Carol. How are we going to summarise this? I don't want to put Tell Aloud Carol to be smashed. It might be a bit long-winded. long. Maybe let Carol be smashed. Okay, we've got to sort out the colours now because it's all a mess. So this should actually be red. We've got to switch them round. But yeah, I forgot to get this in, you see, and it needs to be in. So we don't forget about this choice. I mean, we could just say it as killed. People will literally think I'm killing Carol off. Now, if they read this, I'm not. It's not possible. You'll all cry, wouldn't you, if Carol died this early in the game? I mean, I'm all for higher stakes. Like, I'll admit, I'm a big fan of such decisions and RPGs, but it's just not possible at this point in time to kill off our main character. So yeah, there's too much plot, too much juicy plot with Carol to go. That doesn't mean that later on she won't get killed though. If the story allows it to happen. After all, there's going to be multiple endings in Raindrop Chronicles, so it's oh my goodness, post, thank you so much. Just passing through, hope you're having a nice day, keep up the hard work. Thank you so much for the 1,000 biddies, that's very kind of you. Let's have some hype in chat. How are you doing? Thanks so much for stopping by and for the love, appreciate it. And Van said, take a quick peek in take a quick peek in messages and take a look. Gotta be careful though, Van, because we don't want it shown on the stream for everyone to see. It's a secret. So I'm gonna hide the stream for a sec. Look at me hiding what I'm up to. What could I be doing? Oh my goodness, I love it. This is gonna be insane. I gotta be careful what I say because I'll be revealing it too much, but I'm gonna message you after stream. But all I'm going to just say is I really like the extras, I really like the additions. I think that's a very smart thing to do. My goodness. What am I going to do to repay you? Okay, so this is super fun. I'm going to be hyped all stream now because Van's doing something really cool for us. Oops, what have I clicked on there? Okay, so thank you for the hype, Mid-Sagram Van, for those bitters. Thank you so much for that really lovely surprise that I post Homo sapien. It's always nice to, well, it's always very flattering when a brand new person comes in stream and does that, I have to say, so thanks for the love. Secrets kept, are weapons wasted, and that's fine. I'm hyped. I'm super hyped, guys. This game is off to an excellent start. I feel like, because we've recently hit stream 200, I feel like stream 200 and onwards is where it's getting serious now. The first 200 streams were all just fun and games, and now it's like on to the next step where everything's gonna get good and juicy. Look at all those raindrops. You're going to be Leviathans, everyone, in this stream one day. By the time this game, the whole series is released, everybody here is going to be a Leviathan. Because it's going to be in 100 years. Now, that's an exaggeration. Just as an idea, guys, and obviously this is very flexible and adaptable depending on things and the project's go, but I'm kind of seeing it as a 2-year schedule between episodes, 2 years with each episode. But obviously episode 1 is much longer because I'm getting the framework in place and making the design decisions and the feature decisions and just learning and all that sort of thing. But once that framework's in place, everything's there, it's going to be less hard work than it currently is. Of course, we'll still have we'll have the story and all the bits to fill in and everything to do, but knowing with everything already there as a base kind of just will be very, I think, a lot more helpful and a little bit more relieving. And 100 years better be Game of the Year. I know it's a real epic and some people might think I'm crazy, but I've just always been really keen on doing an epic fantasy. I think it's fun. I get a lot of joy from the big world building thing. And 900 more to go, I guess, till I can make a truly evil villain. And if everybody is a Leviathan, oh boy, the sea will have little space. I mean, I only just managed to be a Leviathan in this stream, and I'm a streamer. So it's very hard. That's why I want to add another rank. I want it to be impossible for anyone to be the max rank in this stream. Because if even the streamer can't hit it, then it is, isn't it? I want to be God. Guess I have mega points to go there. Yeah, you'll just have to be Lurker Pros, chat. You'll have to make sure that you've got my stream tabbed open so you can become a god in the channel. People do that. That's what Rex does. He's obsessed with getting raindrops. So he works when I stream, so he can't always be in chat, but he's always there. Got me tabbed out so he can get those raindrops. And come on, after Leviathan, there needs to be the truly despicable terror of the depths, the thing that everyone fears, and Nemo. Imagine if I did that, though. It was Nemo. It was the max rank. Oh my goodness. If anyone don't know Nemo, it's the fish from Finding Nemo. But who doesn't know that? I feel like you'd have to be very... living under a rock forever if you don't even know that reference. That would be funny. My goodness, we're having a chatty stream today, aren't we, folks? We're very, very unproductive, but I don't care. It's fun to chat. So I deserve a break anyway, because I've been working very hard on the custom hero creator. 48 hours, folks, trying to get my head around how to do something kind of ambitious. But it's well worth it, because it's gonna just make things easier in the long run for me as well, with the hero assets. My passive chattering chat box makes people around me chatty. That's a funny passive. Yeah, guys, talking about passives, now you mentioned it, we need to think of passives for, where is it? hiding. Potential passives. I'm not saying this is going to be a guaranteed mechanic, because I don't know if it's going to be a bit too much work at the moment, but something I wanted to consider is all these Lucky Charm items, what their passive ability could potentially be. Just ideas right now. These are you're gonna get this choice in the custom hero creator at the start, in the new custom hero creator, the updated one. It's going to be an extra question, and each of these items belong to each of the containers, which is pretty obvious when you look at them. It's no secret which belongs to which. And it's just going to be our way to make them a bit more key in the story, rather than just only in one flashback. They're literally integrated massively into the plot this way. And it's fun. It's fun. And they could do all sorts of things, you know. Because the hero, you can choose which one you want, and they can all have their benefits, right? I mean, obviously these items are going to drive the narrative. They'll trigger flashbacks depending on which one you've got. But it could also mechanically, they could do things mechanically as well. Giant sea monster Leviathan coloured is colours of Nemo. LOL. Okay, where are we? Vagabond has asked, how are you going to do the sprites for custom heroes? Well, you know how RPG Maker does it traditionally. You have to just kind of do hundreds of assets of the same character sprite, don't you, if you want to have custom looks. Like, for example, if you've got a bearded hero and a non-bearded one, you've got to put all those beards on all the 100 custom heroes you've got. That's kind of the way we've done it right now at the moment. That's how I've done my custom hero created. There's like just over 200 combinations. I've kind of figured a way to do what they call composite sprites, which you might be familiar with that term. It literally means layered. It layers up the sprites, and I've researched this for so long now, because it's been a dream of mine to be able to do it that way instead. And I think I've finally got it. I've been doing a lot of testing, and I think it might be possible now. But it just means that it's going to be more dynamic rather than static in regards to the custom hero, and that will allow us to have maybe potential few more customized choices, and it'll be a lot easier to put different clothes and different weapons on them and stuff. Composite sprites in RPG Maker. I know, right? I didn't think it would ever be possible, but yeah, it might be possible. I've been searching endlessly, and I found someone that did do a plugin, but it was very rough around the edges, and I had to contact them. But yeah, the plugin was kind of very rough around the edges, so I kind of had to mess about with it myself, and it took a bit of time, but I did some testing and it looks to be working. There's not any problems so far. There was a few bugs that took me hours to fix, but it might be a thing. It might be a thing, which is crazy to even say, because RPG Maker is very limited in that regard, as Vagabond basically says. The disbelief is strong. And I'm still in denial myself that I can make it work, because it kind of feels too good to be true. But from what I've done so far, it doesn't seem like it won't work. And oh yeah, by the way, I was going through every character section in the lore Bible and noticed one thing: the sprites are still tiny there. Are you planning on updating them to the 2x sprite in the near future? I am indeed, Stormraven. I figured I'd do the stream avatar ones first, because that's what, you know, that's, we can show them off on stream there, and that's kind of the key place. But that's the next step to get them done in the lore Bible. It'll probably take me a night to get them all put up on there. So I thought maybe over the weekend I'll do that. And I'm very interested in a Composite Sprite plugin. What's it called? I'll send you a message with the link. I found it on GitHub. It wasn't actually on the main forums. I found it on GitHub, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if this is gonna be like finished or if it's gonna even work. There was a demo with it as well, and I tested the demo, and it seemed a bit like not perfect because it hasn't been updated for a while. So I thought, well, first of all, I'm going to message the creator of this plugin, because I found their email address, and I asked if it was all right for me to use it for my commercial project, and they were like no issue there. They just basically told me that I've got my work cut out for me because they hadn't updated the plugin in a while. So it looks like they were attempting to start making a composite plugin for RPG Maker MV, but it didn't get fully like complete. They were like it was an alpha version. So I did it anyway, because I was like, this is the only thing out there that can do this, so I'm gonna just use it and see what happens. And I got a test project file open, and I thought, I'm going to experiment with this. And I basically spent the last 2 days since the last stream having a mess about, seeing what's possible and if it was even achievable. And I'm still in the early stages, but I can tell you now, I've tested it out, and I have seen it dynamically updating the little, where it calls the hero sprite from, it changes, but based on what you pick. But it's kind of very messy. So when I do give you the link, Vagabond, you might find that the plugin's like a bit rough around the edges, because I was very skeptical about it as well, but I thought it's still the best one that exists probably, and I just had to spend some time having a bit of a fix of things and having an experiment. But I'll send you a message. So one sec, let me just find you, because I do believe you're in our Discord, aren't you? Is your name Keedin? If I said it right. I'll add you. So if you accept that, I'll send you over the link, because, you know, top secret information here. We don't want every single RPG Maker developer finding out this little precious secret, because everyone will have a composite plugin then. Not that I'm that secretive, but I am kind of proud that I came across this. I spent a long time trying to find it. Added, yay. Yeah, expect a message from me some point after my stream. Then I've got to dig for my it's in my bookmarks somewhere, so I'll find it out for you. Okay, so where were we? But yeah, is that something that you've been interested in as well? I mean, it is very cool, isn't it, to have that flexibility with customization options, because I imagine that other game engines would be a lot easier to do such a thing. I've seen indie devs do stuff like that in Game Maker and Unity and things, but yeah, in RPG Maker, seems like it just wasn't a thing, and it kind of surprised me a bit when I realised that there wasn't such a thing, because I thought, shouldn't that be pretty the norm? I was like, shouldn't that be the way things are done in general? in regards to the character customization. Like layers to me just seems just the obvious thing. Like having layered character parts to just overlay on a sprite just seems like the way to go. Considering I have 20x playable characters and 6x outfits, I've had to do 120 plus sprites per animation type. Sit, drink, walk, laugh. Composite sprite system would naturally be the best. Because we were talking about this recently, weren't we? I was telling you guys that it's going to be impossible to be too ambitious with the hero in regards to their facial expressions or anything like that because of all the different combinations. But this plugin that me and Vagabond were just talking about now, it's going to make things like that possible. If I manage to confirm that it's going to work and there's not going to be anything that crashes with the system or anything like that, which I think it can. I mean, let me know how it goes for you when you try it out, Vagabond, when I send you the link. I mean, I'll warn you, it seems like you might find you need to have a play around with it because it wasn't an officially released plugin. It never officially got released. It's just on a GitHub, but it definitely seemed at a stage, like, I'm no coder, so it was enough for me to mess about with and eventually get my head around. So I'm pretty confident you'll be able to, probably way quicker than I did. I'm kind of in disbelief that RPG Maker has something like that. Like, I was like looking through the JavaScript file because I mean, I can mess about with code and kind of get things fixed through trial and error, but I'm not like knowledgeable about code massively. So I was looking through the code and I was like, this is really cool how they've managed to get it working so that character sprite, that PNG file in the characters folder, just dynamically updates depending on what variables you pick and all that. And I was actually watching the file update with the character that I picked, and it calls it from a composite folder with like all the sections, face, TV and SV, all the sprite sections that are necessary, and it kind of just groups the PNG layers together in those folders to make it into one file by the look of it. I was pretty fascinated, and I'm still, like I say, I'm still a skeptic because I'm like, this is too good to be true. It's too good to be true. All my dreams have come true, but it's looking like it's working so far. There's nothing major that's completely been an issue or anything like that, and I think I'm well keen on continuing with this and seeing how things go, because it's just going to make things much more easier. Like I said, now we've got this, we'll be able to potentially have more visual options in the custom hero creator, more hair colours, more skin complexions, and of course we could even have different facial expressions, like visual little indicators with where your morals are, a bit like how Fable do it with their good and evil. You can see that the face changes in Fable based on where your hero's morals lie, and I think that's a really cool thing to do, like to see that visual indicator of where you're taking your hero in a subtle way. It's not like completely spelled out to you what you are, but you can see it from the look on their face what they are. And maybe you two can develop it a little more to be of use to both of your games. So me and Vagabond are going to be the RPG Maker inventors of the future. We'll have broken the software so much so we can achieve what we need with our games. Just neat. Interesting, gotta say, visuals, morals and waifus mostly customizable. Yeah, it's totally ambitious. Like, some people would be like, well, why are you using RPG Maker if it doesn't meet your needs? Just use another engine. Because RPG Maker's the easiest. That's why. It's perfect. It's the perfect, like, it's a very visual engine, and I'm a visual learner. I can't look at too much script or code. It just makes my head go funny. So it's less demanding of my time, RPG Maker, and just far easier for someone like me to get my head around and use. And yeah, that does mean I have to try and break it sometimes to achieve my ambitions in the engine, because I'm completely not really satisfied with default RPG Maker. I find it can be a bit limited, so I find I'm like constantly trying to do things, little hacks to do what I need to. RPG Maker is the easiest until you want to do X, Y or Z. I know, right? And by the time we're done with it, we'll be like, we should have just used Game Maker. But I wouldn't even know where to begin with Game Maker, if I'm honest. It would be a complete learning curve. So I might as well just stick with the engine I'm already comfortable with and break it. And then we can have the achievement of saying, yeah, our games have really like took the engine as far as it can go. You know, that's a pretty cool thing to be able to say. Hi Rex, how you doing? Happy Thanksgiving Eve to all those who celebrate. Yeah, I didn't even know it was Thanksgiving Eve until Jerez told me in the Discord. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know all these things because I'm British. But I hope everybody has a good one. I know it's not easy with the COVID, and Thanksgiving and Christmas this year is probably going to be very boring for most people, if you're sensible, that is. Like we are. So I hope it's still fun even so. I know for Christmas this year it's just going to be me, Matt and my family, just me, my mum, my dad, my sister and her boyfriend, just the 5 of us, which is what it is every year anyway, most of the time. And the learning curve has totally been worthwhile. Started from scratch in Unity for my new RPG, and I'm very proud of the progress of all the fundamentals after 1 month. Oh cool, that's awesome. So I'm curious, because my knowledge with other engines is limited, but how does Unity making an RPG compare to making an RPG in RPG Maker overall? I'm guessing you can have way more flexibility with what's possible in Unity. That's for sure. But yeah. But Rex was playing the Karen game. It was so funny. He was doing really good voices for them. Vagabond. I was hanging out. It was really funny. I was laughing. And so with Unity, I've had to make every element from scratch. How text comes on screen, character movement, choice, selection. Oh, so yeah, it can be pretty time consuming by the look of it then. But I've been able to now make it work single player, local multi and online multi, so that's a big win, yeah. And I think if that's what you want to do, like if your project's that ambitious that you want it to be multiplayer and stuff, then it's probably makes more sense to do something like Unity for your game, because doing something like that in RPG Maker would be pretty impossible, I'm assuming. Someone did ask me if it was possible to make an MMO in RPG Maker the other day. And I was like, I've seen someone try and do it, because I have. There was someone online who was trying to make an MMO in RPG Maker, but it's probably like ridiculous to attempt maybe, but I give them credit for it. But yeah, luckily Raindrop Chronicles is just a single player experience. Yeah, it's going to have a ton of branching paths, but you know, it's pretty standard stuff, that is. Conditional statements, variables and that. Gotta be very careful with my variable management now as much as possible, because I know there's a limit with RPG Maker. I'm going to have to get my head around how to make sure that that there's no waste there, and I make sure that I do what I can with those. Because I know your game Vagabond, did you say that Always Sometimes Monsters had like a ton of different branches as well and choices, and you did manage to make that work? So I remember you saying it had tons of dialogue in it anyway. And that does sound like a learning curve, but also seems like it gives you way more flexibility to do what you want. Yeah, for sure. But I always find I'm breaking RPG Maker. Even the cutscenes, when I've been doing cutscenes, when I did the fruit scene, I was like, oh my god, what, can't they do this in RPG Maker, this animation? Because I wanted the fruits to jump out the baskets, you see, like really elegantly. And it's not easy to even achieve like some cute animations like that. So in the end, I did it, and I did a hack for it. I had to like do a ton of animation frames and do it in a little, I needed to download a plugin to achieve what I wanted to do, and I did it in the end. So it's definitely possible to do these things. You can break the engine, and it's fun to break the engine anyway. I feel a real achievement from doing that. And people will be like, this game was made in RPG Maker? Really? And have an insane amount of variability. We used all of 999 common events and have well over 3k switches and another 5k variables. Yeah, so for sure that's a lot. And how many switches would the max in RPG Maker again? I know there's quite a lot, but there's still a limit. And variables, is it 9999? Might be completely wrong. I looked and I figured that there was plenty, because there's definitely plenty, but still, doing a series like this, I might find that I might use them all up. So I'm gonna make sure I don't waste any. Max, oh, it's 5k, cool. So you literally used it all. You literally used everything you could. Interesting. I wonder if there's a way to, because I know there's ways to break the limits of the database and things like that, but it can be risky, so I've heard, and you gotta kind of be careful. That's 6 years of dev. My goodness. And how long is Always Sometimes Monsters? What's the playthrough time? And I'm curious what it is that needed all those variables. I'm gonna have to play that game because it is in my Steam library. So one day I'm gonna have a play and be inspired. Wow. 8 hours, and there's still like a ton of all that. You've used them all up. That's amazing. There's many yeah, that's just it, isn't it? Sometimes it's not the length, it's all the different branches that come off it that use up all those variables. Yeah, it's on Steam Votes. Vagabond Dog's game is always Sometimes Monsters came first, and sometimes Always Monsters came second. I'm very thirsty today. Okay, so where were we? So this should be the red. Oh my goodness, we've done nothing today in regards to being productive, but I never punish myself for that, because on stream I don't expect to do much work, in all honesty, because I find it very hard to multitask, like chat and do work at the same time. And I kind of want stream to be the place for chatting and the time for discussion and thoughts and community building, rather than doing the work. The proper work happens off stream for me. But sometimes we do work. Sometimes we can do so much and be like, wow, this is really cool. But it's mainly in regards to ideas about the game than the actual development most of the time. Okay, so we've put those in. We got them right. Oh, hang on, it's wrong. I haven't put the affinity points in here yet, but I'll do that after. We've got other stuff to do today. But I'm glad you guys seem to like how this is going. Thanks for the awesome, the kind words, Storm Eagle, about being interested and finding it all very cool. I think it's all very cool as well. And you know, if I wasn't making this, I'd want to play it because I'd be like, I love games with choice and moulding and shaping your journey and hero and all that. I feel you chat can be a big distraction, but I also have kind of conditioned myself too much to only working on stream, yeah, because I'm a very interactive streamer. I'm the sort of streamer that I'd hate to miss even a line of chat. And of course, I've probably missed lines of chat plenty of times because I'm a human. I'm a human being, and it's very easy to kind of miss things, but I try not to. I always try and make sure I get very chatty. So, yeah. I've got a meeting for a little bit, but I'll be back afterwards. Awesome, Van. I hope it goes well and it's a nice meeting. And thanks again, Van, for being awesome. I'm very lucky to have you in this community. I'm just getting very excited about the thing that Van's doing that I can't show yet. So we'll just call it the thing for now. But when the thing gets revealed, when the thing is done, I'll be revealing it. Okay, so are we done? Oh no, we have so many extra choices to put in. I've just realised because we really expanded on our scenes. We've done that one, but we also have. Oh, there's only two. There's only two choices. That's fine. I'm going to do the rest off stream, I think, in regards to this. I'll probably do it a little bit quicker off stream. But as you can see, we've just added the extra, very high stakes choice of almost getting Carol killed right at the start of the game. We're not jumping into this quietly, that's for sure. So there's still two choices that need to be added here, and potentially, I mean, these other scenes might get expanded, but they also might not. They might be totally fine as they are. The only reason I'm saying they might is because I'm in the middle of filling out scene cards at the moment for each scene. and I might find that there's plenty of internal like stuff happening under the surface that I haven't even realised, and I might think, oh my goodness, that needs to be added, purely just for the sake of making the story even better, because that's what these scene cards do, guys. It's a really good technique to making a good story. When I discovered the scene card approach, I was like, yeah, we're using this, because if it wasn't for the scene card, I'd have never ever have realised I could turn this scene into this. It's like it's just far more intriguing now and more interesting than it was before. It was still good before, but it was just like 10% of the scene. So So yeah, we need to fill in the others, because we filled in it for scene 1 and 3, but I haven't filled it in for the Nigel scene in the inn, or the other 2 scenes. So when I filled those in, I might find out stuff about those scenes that I can do. But for now, I mean, we've got it all here. All the dialogue is officially complete for main quest 1. And once I'm happy with that, I'm going to fully implement it in RPG Maker then, and get all the scenes done, and we might do some scene work on stream in December as well, because some of it's already in, but since we've done the expansions, there's a lot to add as well onto what we've already got. Now we were working on the flashback scene, so I think we should carry on with that now, because we've got the first 2 scenes of main quest 2 in right now, so as our Trello page. Yeah, the goal for me this week is to get all the dialogue done and embedded into the lore Bible. So if anyone wants to follow our dialogue, we've got the lore Bible up here, guys, and it updates in real time. So as I do this, as I add the dialogue, it will update immediately on this page, and it's a really good way for us as a community to like kind of be in the know of the story and the characters, and nobody's clueless, because you can read it all here. I used to do it the story so far way. I started with a YouTube video, a short 2-minute video, just running through the summary of the scene, but I found this is probably a little bit more effective, and I'll probably continue to do it this way from now on. And of course, there's spoilers there, but you know, this is a community-driven game, so if you want to get involved in the story side, I think it's only natural that you're going to get the spoilers, because you're kind of a writer on our team, if that's what you're doing. But I'm sure there'll be some people that don't want spoilers and prefer to just like lurk and be blinded to what's going on in regards to this, and that's fine as well if people don't want to be directly involved in the story and would rather have the surprise when they play it. But not everything is 100% going to get revealed even though this is community driven. I'm still kind of going to keep a good 10% of it perhaps a secret from the streams, and that will be stuff that I do in secret, and I will only be revealed in game, because there's going to be some secrets that I want you guys to be surprised by as well. So, and I think that kind of keeps things interesting and exciting as well, to not know absolutely everything. Okay, so let's carry on with where we were. Where did we get to? I'm going to cross off the scene card things for now, and I'm actually going to cross off this too. I'm going to finish updating the outline off stream. We'll focus on doing the scenes right now. We had a good chat about this scene when we were putting in the dialogue boxes last time. It was fun. We had a real ramble about these characters. We get really deep about them. They're going to be so developed because of how much we talk about them, that we're going to know them inside out, and they'll be like real people to us. So this is the official first part of the game when you actually see the barrel crew for the first time. Oh, we need Elvira's emoji. Emoji? It's not an emoji, it's a sprite. Where is she hiding? One thing I do need to do is organise my files and folders for this project a bit better. I have to say it's a big mess, but because I've been so preoccupied with everything else. Here she is, good old Elvira. Okay, so we do actually have this scene already mapped out on another document, so we don't need to think of new dialogue because we've already written it. But because I'm getting all organised, I want everything embedded in the Lore Bible. I'm copying and pasting it over to our Lore Bible embedded page, so that it can be in there for everyone to read. Because this one was a really rough, messy one. And okay, so and I am having to type it all up again because unfortunately when you do copy and paste text in Draw.io, the text format really messes up. So it does mean I have to type it up again, but I don't actually mind because I'm a big nerd and I like kind of reminding myself what the dialogue was, because I'm kind of seeing this as an opportunity for us to kind of like smooth over the dialogue as well and improve upon it if we wish to. If there's any inconsistencies there or typos or something that doesn't quite make sense, then this is an opportunity for us to do that as well. So I'm going to put this on my other monitor just so it's going to be easier to read and type up because I want to get this done. I'm going to get it done for the end, before the end of the week. We have 4 more scenes to get in, so and then we're done. Like, we'll be up to date with all the dialogue so far in the game, and we won't be working on main quest 3 dialogue until the first playable build's out, step at a time. So I think in the next playable build, the second playable build 0.2 that comes out, we'll have the addition of main quest 3 in that one. And I think, did we say we'd have, what did we say? Here we go. Yeah, main quest 3 will be in the next build, and then main quest 4 will be in the build after that, and 5 and 6 will be in the build after that. It's like we kind of really just focused on a main quest content for now, for the pre-alpha builds. and then like the focus will be on implementing the side quests and all the extras, like any features like we might want to add. If we want any crafting or additional things in the game, that will be made on top of the main quest afterwards. So yes, but we'll still be outlining, like, in regards to things like the side quests, even though it's not going to be implemented until much later, I still want us to write them and have that outline and that plan of what's going to happen in the side quests beforehand, so that the process goes smoother, that we don't have to spend months thinking of what's going to happen, because we'll have already done it on the story streams. But these are all just estimated release dates, by the way. It obviously is subject to change if necessary, but it's good to have like an estimate there for me, just so I can like follow some kind of guide, because otherwise, you know, it's very easy for time to go and pass, and then before you know it, it's the year 2030 and we're still working on the first main quest. So I think to some degree it's good to have like the plans, but I also don't punish myself if I am a little bit off. Hi Rogue, how you doing? What's this I've stumbled on? This is an RPG game that I am making as a solo developer that also happens to be very community driven. So we all get together and chat about the game, and we write it together, and we will build together and all that sort of fun things. So I've got a command here. If you want to look at the website, feel free to. We also have a lore bible, and we have links all on there. You'll see it all, so feel free to have a little peek if you want. And we'll have a Steam page soon. Don't have a date yet for when the Steam page will be launched, but I'm hoping it'll be a nice Christmas or end of the year present for us to celebrate with. So that'll be fun as well. But welcome to the stream, Rag. And Rose Frostings, thank you for the follow as well. I like your name, not because it's also my name. Totally not. And that's great. Thanks, you're welcome. Thank you very much. And what game engine? It's made in RPG Maker, which a lot of people sadly judge, because RPG Maker is seen as a limited engine. But, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I'm breaking that engine so hard right now. I'm doing so much to try and achieve what I need in the game. But I still love RPG Maker with all my heart, because it's very nostalgic to me. I've been using it since I was a baby, basically. But yeah, it's not the most perfect thing out there, but it's also very good for this project, and fits very well with what we're trying to do here. And it fits me very well as a developer as well, because it's not very codey. It's not very codey at all, which is perfect for me, because I am not a coder. I'm a very visual, creative person with a big imagination, and when it comes to seeing numbers and scripts and lines, my mind goes like that, goes all jumbled. And I am back. Just did a small test. What did I miss? We are put in some scenes, some dialogue branches that we've already written into our lore bible Storm. So on this page here, so there we go, lore bible, folks. If it updates in real time, this does. So as we do it, it's going to be put in here, because the goal right now is to get main quest 1 and 2 dialogue all polished, and we've recently finished all main quest 1s, and we're on to main quest 2 now. So it's all pretty like I mean, we've spent a long time on main quest 1 and 2. You know, we've been developing this for a year, but it's all just been experimentation in the early days, because you know, getting your head around it, developing the framework, figuring out what the game's going to be like, what it's going to do, changing things, all that. That's what it's been so far. But the quests in themselves are extremely bulky. And each episode, I'm kind of seeing it as a sort of guide to follow. 6 main quests per episode. And there's this kind of our schedule for what's going to be released with each playable build in the coming months. So feel free to have a look at our Trello page as well, guys, if you want to have a peek. I've made nothing, so no judgment here. Learning Unity and fleshing out my own sci-fi based RPG world. Awesome. Sci-fi world, that's fun. But yeah, Unity is for the pros, isn't it? Would you guys say Unity's probably the more advanced out the engines? I mean, I don't know. I don't see it as any engine's more advanced than another in reality, because a tool is a tool. Just use the one that works best for you, right? But it all depends, yeah, just what fits you as a creator and developer people should use. But Unity does seem to be the elitist one that all the people seem to see as the pro engine. But depends on what you want to build. Hi Cub. Unity's I'm guessing it's probably very flexible. It's a good one to do because you can probably create whatever you want in Unity, right? There's probably not so many limitations. How are you doing, Cub? Though welcome. And having used RPG Maker for 10 years and switching to Unity, it's definitely got more available to you and a less forced style than RPG Maker. Yeah, so you don't have to spend time breaking the engine as much because you can do whatever you want. Whereas with RPG Maker, you constantly have to kind of break it and get around it because it's limited. And that can be good in some ways, that an engine's limited, because it's less daunting to jump into as well as a developer if you're not as experienced, or you can it's not as daunting quite so much. But yeah, if you want to get ambitious and have interesting features and things to do, then you might find that you're really spending a lot of time trying to break the engine to get it how you want to be, which is always fun to do as well. It's a lot of fun to do that. But yeah, and Unity has some negatives compared to Unreal, but a good one to start off. Oh yeah, there's Unreal as well, isn't there? It's the one that you fear. Is that the even more pro? Unreal's not so scary. It's actually pretty newbie friendly. And I saw some famous devs saw recently that if you know what engine best fits your project and you know nothing, pick that one. But if you know an engine well, even if it's not the best for what you need, pick that one, yes. I think that's smart, Jimmy, because that's kind of the approach I've gone. RPG Maker's really the one that I know best because I've grown up on the engine. It's also really nostalgic, so it gives me good feels when I use it because that nostalgia is a very powerful thing. But yes, for sure, I agree with that. And hi, Kung, how are you doing? I missed almost all the stream. How are you today? How the stream going? Well, you're here now, Kung, and that's what matters to us. I hope you're having a wonderful Wednesday. I nearly said Thursday then. I forgot what day it was. And Godot is a pretty good one and also open source. Yeah, that I've heard that people have made RPGs in that one. I think Asriel was trying out that one at one point. It's going terrific. So we're writing up the dialogue, guys, because I've found myself doing this on stream a lot lately because it's easy enough to do, and it gives us an opportunity to chat about the characters and flesh them out a bit and talk about them. And I'm doing lots of intense stuff off stream at the moment, like messing about with the custom hero creator and making it even better, which I'm not allowed to reveal to you yet. Well, I could if I wanted, but I want to reveal it to you when it's done. Okay, so she's gonna... So what's happened in the flashback so far? Some of you might already know this flashback like the back of your hand, because it's a scene we've really worked on. But if you don't, basically, this is where we meet the Barrows for the first time, and they chat about some concepts such as the afterlife. There's different fairy tales and myths that they're sharing together, and there's potential strong foreshadowing here, by the way. And it's really just the start of the development of where we meet them for the first time and introduce them as a family and their personality, what they're like. And it also happens to be the moment when Carol was separated from them as well, which is going to happen in a bit. So yeah, we've just got to the point where Elvira's expressed her disapproval of Meryl's boyfriend, the oil drum, because she's a xenophobic, nasty piece of work, and she sees oil drums as not good enough for her daughter. And I'm interested in Elvira, I really am, as a character, because I think she's got a lot of potential. I love her character design. I think that's that sassy, smug expression on her face that you can see if you see her bigger face on the Law Bible. She is perfect. I love that she's a smoker. But I'm also interested in where that character could potentially go as well. As someone who hates oil drums. Bless her. His name is Axel, and he's not rusty. He has the most impressive and bulging physique I've ever there we go. Forgot the shortcut for the M dash then. I'm still amazed that horrific means pretty bad and terrific means pretty good. Yeah, horrific does sound kind of scary though, that word. It's interesting, isn't it, the English language? That's interesting. An open source tool for action RPGs in particular is Solaris or Solaris. Hi Matt, how are you doing? Oh really? I've not heard of that one. What's that one like? And oh my god, I hate when clients forget meetings say scheduled. Oh no. So you're not at the meeting anymore, Van. It happens, man. You just go into a meeting and your client becomes a deer and forgets about the meeting. Well, that means you can hang out with us instead. Huzzah. Waiting on Zoom through the whole scheduled time and no one showing up. Damn them. Total waste of time. Total waste of time indeed. Oh my god, Sorter's nearly got 1k raindrops. I think this is worthy of hype. Probably not going to hit it this stream, but yes, soon. And folks, just so you know, when you do hit the 1,000 raindrops, if you do make a character, if you do fill in the form, you will get put on this list here. And you'll be sitting here, community member characters profiles to do. And whenever I get a good bit of time, I usually do them in batches. And I think there is a batch coming up because I know Met's going to have a character. I don't know if you filled it in yet, Met. I'll have to check because on the website it tells me it's filled in a form. But if not, no pressure. So I know there's a few of you that are grinding for the 1k at the moment. So I'll have you all here, I think. And then you'll be on the stream avatars and have a profile on your Law Bible. Fun times. Okay, and you'll appear in an episode where it feels like the perfect theme for your character. You know, because we can have about, I'd say, six episodes is kind of the plan right now. The scope of episode 1 seems a bit smaller because it's all taking place in this single forest, but the scope is going to slightly get larger with the extra episodes, and we might be able to visit 2 places or even 3 places in one go in future episodes. But yes, every episode is going to have like its own separate themes and different sort of moods and vibes and settings, like and different NPCs all fit being from different areas more than others. And if you do happen to be an NPC that comes in a later episode, I know that it takes a lot of patience to see you in the game, you'll probably get referenced and brought up in conversation well before, because for example, someone like the Prime Minister or the King, they might not come until, I don't know, maybe episode 2 for them, because we will be going to the capital in episode 2. But they'll probably get referenced in episode 1, to be honest. Like certain characters, if there's a time, they'll probably get mentioned in dialogue, and that's always fun. I'm also very much intending to have a lot of explorable things to read in the game, like news articles or books to read in the libraries, and things you can pick up and look at. Like, I love those exploring elements, and a lot of RPGs don't let you do that, some of them, but some do. I think you'll have to let me know, guys, what RPGs let you browse the world and read things, and there'll be plenty of opportunities to have some sort of poster up with maybe one of the later ender game NPCs that we sadly can't meet just yet, to have their moment to shine earlier on. And it's like a lot of, I love the idea of inserting lore that way into the game as well. Hi Tux, how are you doing? And not to be personal, but where's your accent from? Are you from across the pond? I'm asking as a New Yorker who doesn't hear your accent. I'm from England, yes, and I don't mind at all people asking what country I'm from, that's for sure. It's a very common thing that gets asked in the stream. The only thing that I get a bit more careful of is when people are trying to be a bit more specific about my actual location in England, like my city where I'm from and things like that. I can get a bit private with that, because you get your stalkers when you're a person on the internet. But of course, that doesn't bother me at all to say I'm from the UK, or even where in the UK, like I'm from the middle of the UK. Not an issue at all, but you'll never get me saying what city I'm from, for sure. And haven't used Solo as much, but it uses Lua for scripting, and I'd like to try it out some more time. Yeah, you should. And always share your projects with us in the Discord as well, folks. I'm going to give you the link to the Discord if you're not in already, guys, because it's the place to be. You know, you can post adorable pets, you can share your own creative work, you can chat with us, and you can also get announcements about the streams. So when this game, when the Steam page gets launched, for example, you know, you don't want to miss out on that announcement, that's for sure. So that will be getting put in the Discord when it is launched and shared with you all. Hi, how you doing, Tox? Made up of 3 resets later. Oh, Tox, you'll have to let me know what your old usernames were, and I'll put all your raindrops together, because I know the sad thing about the bot is if you do change your username, it resets your raindrop count. So just let me know what the word, Tox, and I'll put them all together. Is the movie Austin Powers liked or hated in England? I don't mind it. I've not actually seen the movie, but I've got nothing against it from what I've heard of it. I think I think I'm not a typical English person though. I mean, I kind of am, but I'm also not, because I'm actually very ashamed of some British people's ways. So yeah, people from the same country can be different, that's for sure. Of all the English accents I've heard, I've only heard yours once before. Ozzy's wife, wherever she's from. Ozzy Osbourne, is that who you mean? But yes, of all the English accents, I mean, I'll kind of say that Led Zeppelin, the band, are kind of close to where I'm based, but not entirely. They're still kind of a very bit of a drive away, so that's not kind of giving away my location too much. But that's something I'm always kind of, I think is pretty awesome to say, because Led Zeppelin are pretty big, aren't they? So it's kind of cool to say, you know, well, they're near me, sort of. But I can't think of any more famous people, really. There's probably loads. There's loads of bands and that were kind of from the area, but Led Zeppelin are the ones that stick out. Okay, so... And how the hell can you make asking for someone's location? Yeah, not creepy though. Yeah, it all depends on how the way it's worded sometimes. But I think it's pretty much common sense, isn't it, really, when you're online. It's not even just streamers, it's you guys in chat as well. Like, we've all got to be careful, because you don't know who's watching. You don't know what weirdos are around, lurking in the corners. The internet's a strange place. Yeah, that's not me. I just love observing people, as New York City is a huge melting pot of culture. Oh no, yeah, what Rogue has asked, it's no issue at all, because it's completely different. The creepsters, the way they say it, is so much different from people that are just like innocent about it. But sometimes that can be the case as well. People can be innocent about it but don't realise they're actually potentially asking something dangerous as well. It's all like when it gets a bit too specific. Like, I've had people come in chat in the past, like full on being like, are you from so and so city? And I've been like, I'm not going to tell you what city I'm from. So no. But you know, country and region is fine. Like, no one's gonna, that's not that specific. But when we start getting to city, it can be. That's very ESFW. You're being extra safe for work. Discord needs a not safe for work channel where I can post my not safe for work things like standing on a chair at the office or holding an extinguisher while there's no fire. We used to have a not safe for work channel, but then people started really pushing the boundaries with it, so I ended up getting rid of it. My stream itself was nearly a bit not safe for work yesterday because I had nude sprites on the screen. And I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think that's silly to think that that's kind of not safe for work. It's just a damn pixel. But people get extra sensitive about things these days, and they think that that's lewd. A bloody pixel with no clothes on it is apparently 18 plus. You know? Whatever. I was even thinking, because we don't know what things are going to be like with Raindrop Chronicles in regards to age rating, but if there is like nudity in the game, which you never know, I mean, we do have romance scenes. I might do a thing like Cyberpunk are doing and kind of make it optional in the menu whether to turn it off or on, and then just do 2 versions of the romance scene, or a scene where someone happens to lose their pants, you know. I think that's pretty cool. I think because that's what Cyberpunk are doing. They're kind of making it in the menu, I believe, disable it or enable it, the nudity, so it's stream safe for people. but then people who want to have it can show it if they want. Let's read chat. Oh my gosh, I'm really rambling on and I'm behind. And it's not letting me scroll back. Could you show us what character creation is like? It's a difficult one to show you that right now, Rogue, simply because it's going through a big upgrade. The current character creator that we actually have, which I do actually have a YouTube video on, but I've unlisted it now because it's not even relevant anymore. It's very basic compared to what it's going to be soon. There's been a couple of changes because we've added like more fluidity options with gender and things as well, which isn't in the current version, but it will be in the updated one. And there's just a few little things I've been messing around with, which is going to make our character creator a little bit more updated. Plus the text in the current character creator is going to be slightly altered so it fits better with the theme as well. So yeah, it's gonna have an upgrade, but keep your eyes peeled, folks, because I'm hoping that I can release the upgraded character, like a sort of video of it or something, in the coming weeks. Maybe at some point before Christmas I'll get that done. And so that's fun times. And is Rex doing the voices for Raindrop Chronicles? Raindrop Chronicles right now will probably not have voice acting, and there's a few design reasons why I'm not kind of thinking of voice acting for this game. One is so it can be translated into other languages more easily and cheaply. I mean, it's still not cheap to be able to translate into other languages even when it's just text, believe me, because especially if we've got a lot of dialogue. And I don't even know if that's going to be possible for me to do. It all depends on budget, and it'd be something I'd judge after the release if I even had the budget to be able to do that, because sometimes it can really help massively to get the game translated into another language. Like Japanese would be a really cool one, I think, because there's a market over there for these kind of games. But that's like a far out ambition, you know, whether if we had the budget to do that and even make that possible. But it would be almost impossible, I'd say, if we had voice acting to achieve something like that. So it just keeps things a little bit more possible in regard to being able to do things like that. But voice acting itself can be very high budget, and of course if you've got friends to do it, it's a bit cheaper, but it's still, you know, a lot when you've got a dialogue heavy game. But would you like oh boy, yeah. And British pants or American pants, big difference. That's the thing. Pants in Britain is underwear, whereas pants in America are trousers. I bet you Americans are like, what are trousers? But that's what they are here, pants. We call them trousers. And whenever I'm in streams, like whenever I hear American people talking and they're like, I'm gonna take my pants off now, or you stole my pants, or that, I'm always like, oh my god, they're taking the whole underwear off, that's shocking. But then I'm like, oh, they just mean trousers. It's so funny, like the differences in culture sometimes. And does that old guy with the but I tend to sometimes say pants because I'm kind of turning into an American, so sometimes I steal your language. And does that old guy with the plated arm have cleavage? I totally thought it was cleavage, does it? It does look like that as well, because the arm has kind of got like a sort of line in there. That's awesome. That could be a joke. Someone could be like, you got boobs, Dave. And he'd be like, what do you mean? Because he's a gruff old man. What would he say about if someone teased him like that? Damn gnome shopkeepers not colour coding their potions. And that was a real life plot against Hitler, and Hitler killed himself. Gosh, what's going on? What's all this about? But talking about cleavage, you do realise that one of our barrels has that. I mean, I'm not sure if people are aware of Meryl's design. I mean, we all know she's got a bra on, that's no secret, but if you look a bit closer, that, you know, she's got the line there, and that wasn't intentional. It was completely coincidental because she's a barrel, so she had the lines there anyway. But it was just perfect, and then we realised, and we were like, holy crap, that's amazing. And it wasn't even intentional because all the other barrels have that line there in the exact same place as well, if you look at their avatars. So I don't know, I just find that really clever, and I like it, because it just adds so much. Where were we? I forgot. There we go. I've got so many tabs open, I get very confused. Okay, so now Woody gets introduced. Rose, the barrel perv. No, it's funny. It's not a pervy. Okay. It's the human body. It's very natural, guys. It's like, you know, the word perv is thrown around too easily in this day and age. And, where's Woody? We might need to just copy a random box for now because we haven't used him before. Sick Phil. This game's going to be beyond mature rated. With that barrel, you know, that should be censored from public view. And from talking about the boobs of a barrel to back to work, there is a reason to romance a barrel now, oh Jiminy God. Yeah, you won't be able to romance Meryl because she's extremely loyal to Axel the oil drum. You can try, but she will just knock you back in a heartbeat. But, you know, you can romance some of the others. Carol's romanceable and so is Woody, so you can try and romance Meryl. If Axel dumps, so then maybe she'll be available to you. Because in one of the branches, Axel might unfortunately break Meryl's heart. We chatted a bit about it last stream. But hi Timmy, how you doing? What in the unholy is this? Don't worry, Rose done worse things like a year ago, making a map. She accidentally made it. It looked like a wiener and then everyone laughed for about 30 minutes. Yeah, that map still exists as well. It's one of the areas in Everbloom Forest. It's the one called Serpent's Fork. And the shape of it literally does look like that. So it's going to become a meme, that is. It's brilliant. I love how you remember that though. Remember as if it was yesterday. That's amazing. I love that you remember that after all this time. I want the memes. Let's have all the memes for Raindrop Chronicles. And good. What engine are you using? Hi Timmy. We use RPG Maker is what we use for Raindrop Chronicles. We have to keep the peanuts. We need them. we were never going to just change the map because it ended up being a peanut. That's part of the fun. In fact, I want people to spot it. I want people to be playing the game and be like, is that the shape of a and then like tweet us and be showing it off, and it becomes a meme. The game goes viral, and that's it. Okay, thanks. I've heard of RPG Maker, but I've never used it before. Yeah, it's a good engine to go for if you want to make an RPG that is like retro 2D aesthetically. It's also pretty good if you're not an experienced coder as well, because it's a very visual engine, so it's not too daunting to jump into. The only drawback with RPG Maker, I'd say, is that it can be very limited and not as flexible as something like Unity with what you can do. But I just say, if you want to do something, do it. Just break the engine. That's what I do. RPGs are my favourite genre, yeah, and mine. If you like RPGs, you'll love it here, everyone, because well, this is an RPG epic that we're making, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be one hell of an adventure. And a lot of us here are RPG nerds as well. I'd say that most of us that hang out in this stream love RPGs too. There might be a few people that only come and hang out here because of my accent now, and just like to listen to my accent as background noise. And some come because they think I'm awesome. So, you know, there's that as well. But I'd say the main reason is because of RPGs. It's pretty starter friendly and easy to get onto it, yeah. I mean, I used it when I was 12. That's when I discovered RPG Maker for the first time. I think I was about 12. So, you know, if a 12-year-old can use it, it's not too daunting. But I'll tell you what, it was awful. The game I made when I was 12, it was ridiculous. I wish I still had it. I never finished it because unfortunately the computer got rebooted and I lost everything. But it was fun. It was fun as a kid to discover that software and be like, oh my god, I can make a game. And it was good then. It was a really good program. Not that it's not now, but I think it's a bit more money driven now, as things always are. Things always are. Don't know why I'm here to tease Rose. I think you're here because you think you're in the group that think I'm awesome, Tox. That's why. One of three things: you love RPGs, you love my accent, or you think I'm awesome. It's only one of those three things why people come here. So it must be the third one, Tox. I'm here because you're awesome. Oh, thanks, Kung. To tease Rose, that sounds like a Sunday plot. Carol the Barrel's a Sunday. Where's Woody's avatar? Oops. I've got a dock open on my other monitor and I've just completely butchered it. He is a lovable cardboard box. Tell you what, this guy's gonna be amazing. He's the comic relief of the game. Well, there's a lot of comic relief in this game, but he's one of them. Woody gives me the vibes of creepy salesman, but I think he's gonna be cooler than that. I guess it depends on how you look at him. Writing is hard for me. I'm indecisive with naming characters and stuff. Yeah, naming characters can be a tough one. It can be. Can spend forever just trying to think of them. But writing is something I'm very... I mean, I don't think you know, I think if you've got an interest in writing, you know, it can be something anyone could do, but obviously you need to sort of know how to write a good story. I do a lot of sort of research into that sort of thing. I read books about it and techniques and about the 3-act structure and scene cards and all that kind of thing, and internal conflict and all the things that make up a good story. And a couple of years ago I knew nothing about all that sort of thing. So if you like sort of look into things and just do your homework, you can be surprised by what you could learn and the sort of thing you can write. Had a really rough day today, but I feel so much better now. You in this community. Oh, thank you, Kung. I'm glad you feel better. Yeah, that's what we want to do. We want this place to be nice and cozy. And thank you for the follow, Rogue Admin. I'm very funny about it, guys. I want this community to be really cozy and everyone to be chill and encouraging, supportive. And I mean, I'm not one to, and like, if you're having a bad day, say it. You know, you don't have to fake your happiness or anything here. But overall, you have to be a positive kind of energy in the stream, because anybody who's got bad vibes or negative or rude or controlling or emotionally manipulative, and you know, those are things I ban if I see any signs of it, no matter how long someone's been in the community or how much money they've given to the stream or whatever, they'll be gone. So I've sadly had to do that a few times. A lot of the times when I was a newer streamer, I found out to do that, but even recently I've had to do that too. And it has to happen, because if it doesn't, you end up you just end up losing love and passion, and you feel drained, and the toxicity just eats away at you if you don't sort it out. Got to get rid of the bad apples. Fun fact, there is a short story for Lobo that I wrote for him when I was making him. Yeah, feel free to throw it in the creative channel if you want to share with us, Storm. Optional though, nothing's forced. Some people can be shy at sharing their creative work, and that's fine. I totally get that. My story writing always becomes a big disconnected mess. Yeah, and if you want to like sort of not have a story like that, you kind of have to follow a structure and learn about what all the masters do when it comes to storytelling, because there is a science behind storytelling. It's extremely creative and imaginative, but there is a structure behind it too, especially if you want to avoid falling into the trap of it being a disconnected mess. I'd recommend like finding out about story structure and things. It can be very fun. All the best screenwriters and authors like sort of follow it to a certain extent. Kind of half blind, so it takes time to notice the errors. Yeah, I think that's a good method though, Storm. Sometimes it's good to just write out and then do the editing after. It's like NaNoWriMo, when you've got to write a bazillion words in a month. It's better to just get it all out, isn't it, and do the editing after. Send me nudes. Rose, you always seem to deal with them well enough. Yeah, I'd like to think so. I mean, I think it's, when you're a streamer, it's about getting that balance between being a welcoming presence and friendly, but also not being like soft and foolish and either. And I think I've got that balance okay by now. And cool, of course, because if you worry about too much about hurting people's feelings, then you're gonna find yourself not banning people that should be banned. if you're like, oh no, but I'll feel bad if I say ban that person. You can't feel like that. You have to just do it if you feel you need to. And Discord, were you referring to? Yeah, like feel free to join our Discord if you'd like. It's the place to be if you want to kind of be involved and updated on community news and the game news as well. Feel free to if you'd like to, and yeah, to chat. We got plenty of cool channels, so feel free to chat in there. It's the place for us all to chat. And alright, gotta bounce back into my stream. Good lunch break, you'll have fun. Take care, Vagabond. Have an awesome stream. It's really cool that you stream like twice in a day now. You know, I'd like to stream more, but I don't. I limit myself to just the 3 times a week because I need that behind the scene work time for my game development. Otherwise nothing would ever get done. But Vagabond's different to me. Vagabond Dog can develop on stream. I honestly can't do it very well because I get too chatty. What kind of RPG are you making? And I had not seen your stream before today. Well, it's good to meet you. It's good to have new cool people in. You know, I like that. But if you want to see the website, because we do have a few links, like I'd say the website's the place to go because everything else links off there. So that's kind of the main hub. But there's things up there at the moment, like we've got some screenshots up and we got a trailer, but it's sort of a work in progress. Like we've recently gone from small sprites to tall sprites, and visually things might get a rehaul and a little, you know, adjustment over time. So nothing's set in stone in that regard, and that's why forgot who asked to see the character creator, I said that I couldn't show anything because we're in the middle of like doing a complete rehaul of that character creator. So but in time there'll be things to show, and I'm in the process of getting the screenshots updated as well so that we can have the tall sprites in them now as well. But it'll take a bit of time, as long as it's done before the Steam launch. Is this a dialogue editor you have open? It is. This is Draw.io. It's a flow chart program that's free, and I use this literally to organise everything in regards to the planning side of the game. So all my story outlines, scene cards, dialogue trees, all go in here. I'm very ignorant of how RPG Maker works, but this looks like a dialogue or cutscene editor. Oh yeah, this is separate because it's the way I work. I don't start off in the editor. I like to get everything planned and thoroughly like mapped out first before jumping into the implementation, because I don't like working in the RPG Maker editor and having a blank mind and doing all the planning in there. It can get a bit messy. I personally prefer to get it all planned first on here on a separate program, and then because then the implementation part just goes far more smoothly then. Once I know beforehand what has to go in, it's just an easier job for me. But there's no right or wrong. That's just my method. I know people that do it the other way and just like to just jump straight in there and write in the editor and do it that way, and that's fine too. It's all about how your workflow is and your sort of preferred method when it comes to creating and developing, because everybody's different, you know. Like I'm an organizer, I'm a planner, whereas some people are the opposite. Some people are pantsers, and people like that like to just do it as they go, and they don't have the sort of time to or real passion or interest in doing planning to this degree. Some people just like to jump straight in and do it that way, so it's all just what you prefer. But this also just happens to work not only well for me, but works well with the nature of it being a community driven project as well, because it's a way that we can all sort of see it, like the plan in front of us as well, because we don't have a playable build out or anything yet, so there's nothing else to look at as to see a story. And I've released clips, little short video clips of some scenes. It's not like anything as a whole that you can see as a whole just yet. Not until we get the first playable build out anyway, which is planned for early next year. It was planned this winter, but with extra things that I've wanted to include, such as an improved character creator and the addition of the change of tool sprites, and there's a few other things that I'm going to alter in regards to the battle system, which we're not going to talk about until January, because it's all about the dialogue and scenes stuff this month and next month, and then we're going into battle related stuff in January. That's going to be the last thing we do before we release the build. I need to upload the rest somewhere and fix a bit more of the obvious mistakes, but here you can find Lobos's sheet and the short story. Oh yeah, that was on Lobos's sheet, wasn't it? Well, it's going to be good because when Lobos comes into the game, we'll already have insight into him. So there's some other characters that have been submitted that are less fleshed out, which is fine too. But for the characters that are less fleshed out, we as the community will be able to sort of have more freedom and shaping of where their sort of character arc can potentially go. But yes, like in regards to fleshed out characters like Lobos or Prime Minister Traitorio as examples, we'll try and stay as loyal as possible to their sort of vision. But of course, things might have to go in certain direction so it can be shaped to fit with the Raindrop Chronicles lore and plot. But it's about getting that balance so we can keep the NPC vision but have it so it works well for our story too. Does RPG Maker interface with it, or do you manually input stuff? Oh, I manually input because I'm very, very detailed and precise with how I design my scenes. So I like to carefully do it very meticulously. So I do think it's not impossible to figure out a way to just import everything so it's all just there. I believe there's ways to do it, but I haven't myself looked into that because my process is that I like to do it manually anyway. Sorry for all the questions. No worries, I like answering questions. This is what streams are about, it's the community and question times and all that sort of thing. So, and it shows that you guys are interested. Tell me what you think if you read it, yay. And definitely check out Oreo, thanks for showing it. Doing test backs dialogue is kind of a pain in Unreal. Had to do pretty much write a tool to edit dialogue. Yeah, I'm not up to my knowledge in regards to how it's done in Unreal, but do whatever's easiest for you. Like, I just think people should approach it their way and their design and preferred design decisions. So RPG Maker, it's not entirely the smoothest process to get dialogue in the scenes, but it's not too bad at all. It's just a copy and paste job and putting matching facial avatar with the dialogue box, and then I like to make the scene pacing work really well, and I put character movements in between and anything that's meant to happen in the scene, anything cool in between the dialogue, because I don't want it to just be a bunch of talking heads throughout the scene where it's nothing but just a mash of dialogue one after the other. I like to break up the pacing sometimes and and have it all unfold super well. Okay, so oh my gosh, look at the time. How is it that time already? No way, guys. It feels like I've been streaming for an hour, not for 3 hours. What's the world coming to? Honestly, it blows my mind every time. I'm like, how has it been 3 hours? And we've not even done anything. That's why. Because we spent the first half of the stream talking about the moral system while I was like adding a few little like things in the dialogue choices that will affect the morals. And then I've carried on putting in the dialogue practice for this stream, but it feels like overall we've done nothing. But that's good, because that means we've had a very chatty stream, which are my favourite streams. Chatty streams are my favourites. Okay, so where are we? There is a lot of stuff to do in regards to getting the rest of the dialogue put in. As you can see, we're only on the second of 5 quests for main quest 2. It's all there. I've got all the boxes there, but they just need converting over to our embedded Lore Bible file, so we can all see. And I do need to reread it all anyway, because it's been a while since I've reviewed that dialogue. And I think it's all updated. It should have had anyway. And main quest 1. It's all here, we've done all that, but there might, who knows, be a few little improvements if necessary, but I'd say it's totally good as it is. And so yeah, I guess this is kind of what I'm prioritising right now, getting all this done. And the other things, I mean, the next job is to do the scenes of all this. But I'm probably not going to jump into doing the scenes of those. Because when I work on the scenes, I actually open RPG Maker and actually do the work then. And then we do test plays and see actual scenes in action. But I like to get everything up first. And most of these scenes are already done. Like 80% of them are already done. But there's some adjustments that need making because we've expanded some scenes. Plus, I recently completely changed the maps and started a new project file. So that would mean that some of the scenes just need redoing a touch. And other than the dialogue and scene work that we're kind of probably going to be working on for the rest of the year, we'll probably have the odd story suggest-a-thon stream in between as well, where we do some character development and world building for episode 1. So that basically consists of discussing the next 4 main quests, which haven't been written yet, as well as side quests and the PCs and NPCs that will be within this episode. Or even NPCs that aren't in the episode but are referenced in the episode, like mentioned in passing by NPCs. They don't have to physically be. So anyone that's kind of involved in the episode is kind of what we talk about, so that when we're ready to build the next playable build with that content, we'll already have it there. So that all we have to do is implement it. We don't have to do the storyline because it'll already have been done before we start. So that'll be what happens. Like once the first playable build's released in spring next year, the next job will be adding main quest 3 and the actual NPCs to the village. That's going to kind of be the next sort of thing we do, and we'll probably at that time have already decided what's going to happen in main quest 3. So will be hopefully an easy enough process to do. And then coming after that will be skill and battle stuff for the enemies and the boss. I mean, we've kind of already sort of done a lot of that. We've spent a lot of streams working on planning things like that, but it's all going to have to be tidied up because there's going to be a few changes that are going to be happening that are going to make the game better, trust me. Yeah, so I'm not going to even touch that until the new year, until all the scene stuff is out the way, because otherwise it's too many different things at one time, and I just get all confused. So once the scene stuff's complete and I'm like, oh, this is really cool, it's all perfect for the first playable, then that'll be the time to start integrating the skills and battle stuff on top of the scene stuff. And I think really at that point it's all about just testing it, making sure it's all working okay. But I do want to add a few user interface elements as well in the menu. Not all of the menu. Like the menu stuff's going to be very bare bones really compared to what it's going to be like when the full official release happens. But I still want to have like the options to turn the mini maps on and off and things like that, and I'm going to do that last. That's going to be the last job. So I think we're on schedule at the moment, so we'll see how this custom character overhaul goes, because that's what I'm doing off stream at the moment. And fun times. World building is hard for me too. I need to channel my creative brain. Can I borrow some creative brain cells? Sure. You can be inspired by us in this stream, because that's something we enjoy a lot. And in fact, I'd say world building and storytelling and all that kind of thing is probably more my thing and my favourite part of the game dev process. My weakness is the code and the like mechanical implementations more that involve the whole messy formulas and all that side of things. So my brain is better when it comes to the things that involve imagination and all that kind of thing, rather than all the mathsy stuff. But everybody's different. Everybody's got bits they find easier and bits they find harder, and that's the challenge of game dev, because you gotta do it all. You gotta do it all. So yeah, and when I code I just mash my keyboard a bit until it semi-works. Yeah, trial and error, that's what I do, because I don't know code. I've never learned code. I don't even really understand it, but I kind of just look and I kind of just treat it like a puzzle. I treat it like a puzzle and I work it out that way. And it kind of is when I see it like that, it becomes a little bit more fun as well. And it can be kind of fun to test and see, well, is this working? And then if it is, but when you finally get it working, it's like a real achievement and makes you feel awesome. So yeah. Okay, you're off mute. I thought you said then that I was on mute, and I was like, I've been on mute this whole time. And I was like, how was I talking to Timmy? But then I realised you meant that you had me on mute. Oh, you know they have lots of intro courses on Udemy for sale right now, actually for Black Friday and all. Oh, good point, Rogue. So Timmy or anyone else who's like, I'm curious about that, that's interesting. I'm even curious about that as well. So yeah, Black Friday is on the way, which is really handy. All the sales. So guys, we're gonna stop there. I want us to go and give someone a raid though, if anybody's online. I hope I've got time, because it's usually, I'm well late today finishing, but I wanted to kind of just talk about what the plans are and things like that for the next few months before the playable build release. So I'm going to open Twitch and we'll see who's on for us. Thank you for the stream. Trivia, guys. It's not because Van's come in while I've just put Van in. Totally not, because I know that Van enjoys doing the trivia. Okay. I just literally remembered that we need to do trivia at the end of streams, because I usually do that kind of thing. everything. So what are the fruits in when you first meet them? Basket. And if anyone new here is confused by what's going on, what trivia is literally Raindrop Chronicles questions. So if you're new here, you probably won't know the answers because you don't know the story. But that's why the Lore Bible exists. So you can all become nerds and read it and then know all the answers. Oh Lord, I read that wrong. So points, Vandalia. There we go. Yeah, we've not done much trivia this month. I think Rex and Kung are also on the leaderboard as well this month. So, but Van is still leading. But you know, it's a closer one this month. Okay, so just having a peep at who's on for us today. Me and Rex are at a tie with 1 point each. Yeah, you two are fabulous. Well, you three are fabulous. You're the experts. But you know, it's pretty impressive that at this stage of the project, before we've even got a playable build, that we've got people that know the lore already, like the back of their hand. Because I expect that it'll be when we actually have something playable that more people will start getting fascinated by the lore in the world. That's kind of what I'd imagine anyway. I just got lucky. Okay, so I'm gonna go to Vagabond again today. And we'll pass that love back on to him because he read us earlier. And we'll see what he is up to. He's put some chat rules in. I like it. I'm reading his chat rules now. Some people must have tried to push things. Try and be a nice person. Showing your game project is called Game Dev Questions Are Not Welcome. Okay, guys, make sure when we go in this stream, you don't ask Vagabond any game dev questions. Someone must have got a bit overboard with that, I'm predicting. Okay, so a Vagabond dog raid. And 3 points. Well, we've not done it as much this month, that's for sure, because in other months we've done trivia. Van's like had 50 points and now Van's got like 3 points. I'm exaggerating, by the way. You never had that many, but it was quite a lot. Bye, take care, guys. I'll see you on Friday. See you on Friday for more fun stream time. Thanks for all the chats. Thank you for being awesome.